Ding dong.
How's your health? I hope you're better.
I'm fine, thank you.
In vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to inform you of how ardently I admire and love you. These are feelings besides those of the heart to be detailed, and I was not more eloquent on the subject of tenderness than of pride. I sense your inferiority, of its being a degradation, of the family obstacles which had always opposed to inclination, were dwelt on with a warmth which seemed due to the consequence I was wounding, but was very unlikely to recommend my suit. In spite of your deeply rooted dislike, you cannot be insensible to the compliment of such a man's affection. Your strength of that attachment which, in spite of all my endeavors, I have found impossible to conquer, and with expressing my hope that it would now be rewarded with your acceptance of my hand.
In such cases as this, it is, I believe, the established mode to express a sense of obligation for the sentiments avowed. However unequal they may be returned, it is natural that obligation should be felt. And if I could feel gratitude, I would now thank you. But I cannot. I have never desired your good opinion, and you have certainly bestowed it most unwillingly. I'm sorry to have occasioned pain to anyone. It has been most unconsciously done, however, I hope will be of short duration. The feelings which, you tell me, have long prevented the acknowledgement of your regard can have little difficulty in overcoming it after this explanation.
And this is all the reply which I am to have the honor of expecting. I might, perhaps, wish to be informed why, with so little endeavor at civility, I am thus rejected. But it is of small importance.
I might as well inquire why with so evident a desire of offending and insulting me, you choose to tell me that you liked me against your will, against your reason, and even against your character. Was not this some excuse for incivility, if I was uncivil? But I have other provocations. You know I have. Had not my feelings decided against you, had they been indifferent, or had they even been favorable, do you think that any consideration would tempt me to accept a man that has forever ruining the happiness of one's most beloved sister? I have every reason in the world to think ill of you. No motive can excuse the unjust and ungenerous part you acted there. You dare not, you cannot deny that you have been the principal, if not the only means of dividing them from each other, of exposing one to the censure of the world for caprice and instability, and the other to its derision of disappointed hopes, and involving them both in misery of the acutest kind. Can you deny that you've done that?
I have no wish of denying that I did everything in my power to separate my friend from your sister, or that I rejoice in my success. Towards him, I have been kinder than towards myself.
But it is not merely this affair on which my dislike is founded. Long before it had taken place, and my opinion of you was decided. Your character was unfolded in the recital which I received many months ago from Mr. Wickham. On this subject, what can you have to say? In what imaginary acts of friendship can you here defend yourself? Or under what misrepresentation can you here impose upon others?
You take an eager interest in that gentleman's concern.
Who that knows his misfortunes have been can help feeling an interest in him?
Ha! His misfortunes! Yes, his misfortunes have been great indeed.
And of your infliction, you have reduced him to his present state of poverty, comparative poverty. You have withheld the advantages which you must know to have been designed for him. You have deprived the best years of his life of that independence which was no less due to his desert. You have done all this, and yet you can treat the mention of his misfortune with contempt and ridicule.
And this is your opinion of me. This is the estimation in which you hold me. I thank you for explaining it so fully. My faults, according to this calculation, are heavy indeed. But perhaps these offenses might have been overlooked had not your pride been hurt by my honest confession of the scruples that had long prevented my forming any serious design. These bitter accusations might have been suppressed had I, with greater policy, concealed my struggles and flattered you into the belief of my being impelled and unqualified, unalloyed inclination, by reason, by reflection, by everything. But disguise of every sort is my abhorrence. Nor am I ashamed of the feelings I related. They were natural and just. Could you expect me to rejoice in the inferiority of your connections? To congratulate myself on the hope of relations whose condition in life is so decidedly beneath my own?
You are mistaken, Mr. Darcy, if you suppose that the mode of your declaration affected me in any other way than as to spare me concern which I might have felt in refusing you. Had you behaved in a more gentlemanlike manner, of course. You could not have made the offer of your hand in any possible way that would have tempted me to accept it. From the very beginning, from the first moment, I may almost say, of my acquaintance with you, your manners, impressing me with the fullest belief of your arrogance, your conceit, and your selfish disdain of the feelings of others, were such as to form the groundwork of disapprobation on which succeeding events have built so immovable a dislike. And I had not known you a month before I felt you that you were the last man in the world with whom I could prevail to marry.
You have said quite enough, madam. I perfectly comprehend your feelings, and have now only to be ashamed of what my own have been. Forgive me for having taken up so much of your time, and accept my best wishes for your health and happiness.